So this week we are covering PowerPoint presentations, and the assignment requires for this week is basically requires you to make a 10-slide presentation within PowerPoint. I'm not that fussed which version of PowerPoint you have access to. Like on this machine here, my PowerPoint is 2010. I have, and I know some of you have also commented on the fact that you have access to the Office 365 software packages. So you can use whichever application you have access to, and some of the features will vary depending on the version of the application you use. So start with the basics. So you open it up, you'll come to a blank page, or you can, if you're working on one, you can go to New, Create a Page. You can also use templates or load existing themes if you know a theme, such as any of these. One of the ones I like using is this one, but today we'll go Concourse. And it provides a theme for each slide. So if you add slides in, now to bring in slides, new slides, you just right click and hit the new slide button to add slides in. Each slide comes with a default text and title box, which you can just type away in. And just like with the word processor packages, you can adjust your fonts and colors, size, and they still can't hear. Okay. Well, that's an issue. Troubleshooting a remote machine without access is problematic. All right, so I'll just give them the link to the recordings. So basically the way it works is exactly the same as hang on. Maybe it's the headphone connections that's the problem, so I'll just get them to unplug. Can you hear the voice now? Hopefully they can. Still can't hear me. Okay. If I have to type out everything I do, it's going to be a very long session. All right. The text you have all your standard text functions as far as font choice, font size, bolding, underlying, color choices, justifications, just like every other Microsoft product and word processing product we've covered so far. And inserting pictures, pretty much the same as so you select the image that you want and just put it in, and you can adjust the size, use the button to rotate just like you would with yes, all classes are recorded, and if they can't hear me answering that, it's not going to help. So the other thing you can do, just like within Word and that, is change the properties. So you can change how sharp it is, how the position, the size, the cropping, all of those usual edit functions are there, as well as sending them back so your text and that can go over the top of it. So all of that usual functionality that we're used to within Word is here in the PowerPoint software as well. The text boxes can be added in through the insert command. Just draw a box, and again you can adjust it just like every other element within the system, and then it will automatically resize depending on the text you type in and the characteristics. Now, all the text within the box can be changed by selecting the box and changing the characteristics of the text will affect all the text within the text box. So that's a quick way of changing your look of your presentation. The other nice thing I like to play around with a lot was our shapes. Now, one of the things, if we just do that, now we used to have to do all sorts of weird things to get it to transition from this one across to this one in an animated fashion, because in these older versions we don't have Morph. So we could, cut from here to here in animation and that sort of thing, but under 365, and I think it's in the other, I think it came about in 2016 version, in the shapes, when you're doing animation and transitions between different shapes, you can now under transitions, use Morph to morph between the two shapes. And that didn't save. Okay, Morph. And the morph is between there and there. So if we do the new morphing functions in transitions allows you to animate between items that are the same name. The question in chat, yes, assignments are copied up into Edmodo. So you can do a lot with the graphics in the newer versions compared to the old ones. So just to give you an example of how, if I can open, this is an old one that a colleague made many years ago. Now, this is how, before morphing and that came into place, using the animation screen, we could animate a slide to give us an act of movement. So we're going to show the transition of a packet of information going from one computer to another through switches. The technology, what we're trying to describe, isn't important here. So basically, you have a series of animations on the slide that are triggered by the mouse click. So moving the slide forward progresses the animation forward. In each step, we would move the animation, then we would have to hide the previous elements to move it forward. Now, a lot of these animations would be easier to animate between the elements from one slide to the next with the transitions and morphing functions now. Just to give you an idea of how that used to work. So the transitions between slides, animations allow us to animate an effect on how something comes in. Like we can reveal it via a wheel or a wipe, float it in, fly it in. So there's lots of little things we can do to make it more interactive and more fun. As I said earlier, when we're opening the file, you can actually specify the design or theme within your slides. You can also change them while you're in it to something else. And apply it to all. So the basic themes behind animating the text or pictures, inserting pictures, all are within the same method as Word. And to preview what you've done, you just run the slideshow to look at the various elements. Okay. So it's a bit cluttered. Alright, so within the slideshows, you can do timings, so you can actually set a time per slide and then it will automatically move through one slide at a time so that you don't need a clicker. You can just do a talk and present your information without manually interfacing with the slides per se. Now, if you have a presentation and you can practice and get your timings right, you can actually stand in front of the room with your slideshow running behind you without you even looking at it, and the slides will change as long as you get that timing correct. You don't have to ever look at your slides while you're presenting or the screen of the machine you're running it from. I've known a few people that do their presentations this way, and it can be very impressive when you see it. So you can set up how many slides run through the presentation, how the presentation, whether it's full screen, what monitors it's on, all that within set up your slideshow. Again, just like with Word, we have spell checks, translations, different languages. You can add comments. You can put annotations on. So I use it quite a bit in my other classes while I'm in a presentation. If you right click on the screen, you can change to a pen. Now, with a mouse, I'm not that great of a writer, but I've actually have a digital pen that I can write with. I don't have to rely on using the mouse, and I can actually use that to draw stuff on the screen, like my network diagrams, all these sorts of things I can draw freehand whilst in the slides. And one of the things you can do is also save that ink. You can erase as well. So just be aware there's the option there. You can turn it off to write, draw. So blank screen, and then go back to your slides. And go back to arrow if you want to go back to normal operation without the pen while doing your presentation. So there's lots of different options available while you present. Filing, so doing the old save as is the same as every other application. You name the file you want. Standard file type is PPT or PPTX depending on your version. You can change it to PDFs. Okay, so that'll automatically create a PDF of the slideshow, not what your working files are, but it'll create a slideshow of the presentation. The PowerPoint show, all right, so I'll just put this into teaching. And if I open it up in, so that's your just your slideshow. So you've saved the show. So you can't edit this. It just automatically goes into your show. The other formats, you can save it to older versions of the files. You can save it out to all different types of, like, open document presentation, different versions. You can set up themes and templates. So if you want to create your own theme and master, that's the other thing I need to show you. Send them few there. All right, so the slide master set. You can modify the slide masters. Now, the slide masters are the look and feel of the template. So within these slide masters, you've got different sets of documents that, okay, so this one, if you just click on and insert, you'll get the different formats of the layout. So each design pack has a master layout attached to it. You can reorder them, you can change them, put different things in them as you need. And that would affect every one of this particular template in your slideshow. It would automatically change those slides to that format or style, if you like. Okay, so you can just close that out. And basically that's, all right, so that's the master page there, title page. Now, if we look under the slide masters, it'll take you to which one it is. So you can change them and reorientate them and change which layout you want to use. Okay, so all these layout options come within that master set there. Now, with your notes, there are various themes that you can have with your note pages. You can have them on portrait, landscape. You can have multiple pages per. Now, why would you use notes? Well, if you slide this up, this function here, this pane here is your note pane. You type in notes regarding the slide that you're on, and which version of PowerPoint are you using, Ramesh?
So I'm not sure, but I think it's like something like new.
Well, it may be under slightly different areas, but these options, if you like, have been around for a very long time.
Yeah, I think because your PowerPoint's oldest than mine.
Mine's old.
Yeah.
Mine's 2010.
Yes.
But the function is still, like, this is Office 365.
Yeah.
Okay? All these things are still here in, there's the notes sort of down there. They're just in a different position within the menus, that's all.
Yeah, but I still like I have some stuff like in your PowerPoint you have the slide like each slide have different. Here I have unlimited slides, but it's not no one like your ones.
As in the design.
At the design, the type area, the text area, and stuff.
Yeah, the designs will vary depending on your version, but
Yeah.
you can actually go online and download more design packs from Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay.
It is Office, and so you can, like, your animations are still there, and let's get it to that's back to a normal. Yeah, your versions will be there. Your ribbon, maybe you've got the simplified ribbon turned on. Yeah, your 2016. So, like on my laptop, I've got to 2016. On my desktop, I've got 2010. In the web-based, I've got 365. I can do slightly different things on each version. But 365 and 16 should be pretty much the same. You just got to make sure you've got the ribbon turned on. There's all the shapes. Okay, in my version, it's under Insert Shapes. There it is there. I can insert a table. All right. And type away like an Excel spreadsheet. So it's in there, just in a slightly different and just so you know, people, you can actually use your Kangen student email to get access to Office 365. And I said Office 365 twice in that. So, yeah, all the basic functionality is still in there. The menus change a little bit between the versions of the applications, but the actual, no, I haven't, not as yet. But I can mark the role of the participants log. That's why I really need the person that is unable to hear me. Just use it. So, yeah, just use the version of Office that you have to make the presentations that you need. And I always go back via and review the attendance via the logs. Okay, so just in case I miss somebody joining, and that I always go back and there's a log of who joined the session and when they joined and when they left, which I also save down for record keeping. So attendance is always marked off the log. That's why I need to know if when you use a different screen name, like Adam uses Ads 360. Once I know who they are, I can mark the role appropriately. Does that make sense? Now, I know most of this PowerPoint presentation stuff you already know because you've covered the Office suite in most of your colleges from the discussions we had at the end of last term when we were talking about starting this unit. It is also why I chose this unit to be the one that we started doing remote, because it'll be the easiest one for you to pick up and run with via remote delivery because you've got the basics already. So if you want to go off and just do your assignment work, feel free. I've covered the basics. The only adding, I was just going to go through talking about adding links and footers. So just like in the Word document, we can add headers and footers. And naming conventions and that, well, you already know how to name your files, so you can, that's right, I was talking about the notes. So with the notes pages, there's multiple reasons for the notes. You can put short little notes in, and when you're in the presentation mode, if you've got multiple monitors, the presenters mode will show the notes for the page, and the projection screen will show the actual slide. Now, you then can use the actual, where was I? I've lost the Notes Master. In here, you can actually print the slideshow with notes, so that on the handouts, you can say, I want 2 slides or 1 slide, and it'll have the notes appear within that. So if you want to print, you can actually specify in your settings how you're going to print. Okay, so that's all slides. And here you can print out your handouts with note pages. So here's your slide, and there are your notes underneath. So if you're doing handouts to people, you can have your notes recorded and the slide. So there's quite a lot of information you can include by using the various notes. And you need to speak up a little bit, lad.
Sir?
Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Yep.
First one, how we can put video from YouTube? Because when I want to put a video, they just let me put the link, and then how can I put the video?
You can't with YouTube itself. You can add one that you've already got downloaded. You'll have to do a search on downloading YouTube clips. Okay.
Yep.
So basically, when you embed a video, okay,
Yeah.
you have to have it locally already.
Yep.
It's like, it's exactly like adding a image.
Yeah.
You're embedding the video.
Yes.
And when you transport the slideshow, you have to take the video with you, because it's an external file.
Yes.
It's not inside the slideshow.
Okay. So the second thing, what's a sound file? Because one of the questions in the assessment, they say interactive sound file.
Instructive sound files?
Yes.
So basically, a the audio option. So you've got video and audio. Audio is sound file.
Where can I find it?
So it should be this. If you can insert a video, you can insert an audio.
Insert, I have up to music. Just up to music.
Yeah. Audio.
Audio,
music.
yes.
Yeah. Basically, if you can click insert, it is the requirement, yes. So yeah, you kind of need it, but all what you need to do is actually show the link. All right, so it doesn't have to be big or anything.
Yes.
Like I have bucket loads of different I'm one of these sad people that capture their gameplay.
Okay.
So have different. Okay, well, there's a web one. Sorry. Can't do it. Okay, so here it needs Apple QuickTime Player. So you do have restrictions on it.
Yes.
It changes on your ability. Just do, when you work your way through the assignment, just do the ones that you can.
Yes.
Okay. And like if you can insert an image, inserting a video file is not that different process-wise. So if you can do insert images and manipulate, I used to embed video and that in my slideshows, but it becomes very problematic if you have to copy your slideshow from one machine to another, because it records the pathing in the embedment. So if you have it on your USB stick and you plug it into a different machine, your pathing is going to be different and your links break.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be concerned about it. I can't change what's in the assignment requirements. Okay. But I can certainly mark very loosely.
Yep.
All right. So just do as many as you can. Now, within the My Learning space, there's a whole page full of topics that you can choose from. Whatever you want to do the presentation on, I'm happy, as long as it's school appropriate. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Headers and footers, one of the things in the assignment is to add headers and footers. So under insert, just like there is in Word, you can add like the slide number, footer, put your name and student ID, and they'll start appearing on each slide. All right, so that's it for the basics. And again, and visit all Microsoft product learning videos, I recommend you look up gcflearnfree.org. They produce a great series of learning videos for the Office product suite. Look them up, they're very good.